Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is David Yak here.
And I'm Susan Keller-Horn.
And you're listening to Yak About Today in Film, where you never know where the show will go. So sit back and watch us, or get up, put your headphones on, but listen to what we yak about today. Hey, again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. So, Susan, it's here.
David. And I know.
1
I can't
year
believe
in the making, right?
It's around the corner, and
So for you that are watching on Facebook or any of the social media channels, our box office opens officially today at noon.
Don't come at noon.
Don't
come at noon. That's all I can say. Just come. Wait till 2:00. I think that's a much safer idea.
You think it'll take us 2 hours to get our together?
Yes, I do. And I'm not being generous.
So you did warn me a couple of months ago that, David, you better get that box office together. And all of a sudden, we're walking into the box office at noon, telling everybody not to come till 2.
Well, we do have some really seasoned volunteers who will be working at the box office, and they will be doing a great job. It's actually just you and me getting our lists to them properly. That's right. So It's not them, it's us. Blame David and me.
Yeah, you mean the list of who's coming that we first thought we had to print while we were in the car coming here.
Yes, that's the list.
That's the list. That's the list. So anyway, if you did buy online and you are listening to this, go to the box office and bring your receipts from your online purchase, and you'll get your pass for the film festival. And the box office is, of course, at the Heritage Center on 14th Avenue. And it's open today, 12, become a 2.
Yes, until 8 p.m. Until 8 p.m.
Until 8 p.m.
Yes.
So, wow. Tomorrow night's the official kickoff dinner.
It is. Parliament. It's going to be great. I think, have you closed off the sales for that? I think you did, didn't you?
You
could probably eke a couple more people in, but I don't think we've got a lot of space. So.
It's funny because when we were sitting in the other room waiting to record this, I just opened up my computer, and the two things I said I had to do was finally cut the discounts online, which I didn't get to do. So if you're watching this really right now, when we get out of here and I get to the Heritage Center, we have to stop the discounts, the online discounts, because the box office goes back to our
regular prices.
Our regular prices.
So if you want, if you're listening right now, you have until about noon. So
that's if I get to it.
You'll get to it. You'll get to it.
Right. So just a reminder, so we have our kickoff dinner on Wednesday, the 8th, and the festival starts on the 9th, goes through the 12th. So our films start in the morning, and I'm so excited. It's so funny. It really is so strange when you do spend a year planning something that happens over the course of 4 days.
It's crazy. It's actually happening. But let's remind everybody, if you want to take advantage of the discount until noon, or even if you miss it and you still want to get your tickets, you can buy them at vbfilmfest.org. You can buy them at the Heritage Center, but it's a whole lot easier to buy them online and then just pick up your passes. But vbfilmfest.org is the place to get passes, tickets to the parties. The only thing that's not available online is the individual tickets for films, which are only available at the door if there is space available. But otherwise, you can find out everything about the festival online.
From $10 to $20, depending on the film and the venue, I believe.
Yes.
And I'm so excited.
We do have one free event. Actually, do we have more? No, we have one free event, which is the Coming Up for Air event. It's on Sunday at 3 p.m. at the no, it's at the Chambers. It's at the Chambers, and it's going to be followed with Roger Rappaport doing a presentation about mental health, and he's bringing in people from Suncoast Mental Health. We have Milo Thornton from the Sheriff's Department. We talked to all of them just the other day on one of our other podcasts, but that is a free to the public event, and I hope you can be there as well.
So, Susan, we have guests, you know.
We do.
Representing some terrific films.
I know. This first one that we're talking to is Shara Ashley Zeiger. Oh, I'm sorry.
Both.
and she's with us. She's calling us from home. She's got her baby in the background, and we love babies. So if the baby's making a few little noises, we just love hearing it.
And of course, the baby. We didn't ask you before. Girl or boy?
It's a girl. Her name's Lily. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, of course. And we hope that Lily will make it to another film festival. We're sorry you can't be here this year, but we completely understand. But
thank you.
We'd love to hear about your film. Tell us about I Mustache You and how it came about and everything you want us to know about it.
Yeah, so I Mustache You is a very unique film. It is a silent physical comedy. So it's sort of like Buster Keaton style, but meets modern day New York City. And it's a film that sort of came to me that it was like tugging at my heartstrings that I need to make it. And I wrote it, I produced it, I directed it, and I am the only actor in the film. Very often wear a lot of hats as a multi-hyphenate, but usually I don't direct my own work. But this project was so specific in my head that I absolutely had to direct it. So it's about a woman named Abby Finkelmanstein who receives a love letter from her secret admirer asking her to meet them at the park. And this gets her out of the apartment, and she goes on this very magical, realistic journey all through New York City, to which at the end she finds something pretty special. I won't give it away, so you'll have to come to the screening to see what it is that she finds. But if you love comedy, if you love old school Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies kind of stuff, if you like the Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton stuff, and if you love New York City, this film is very much a romantic comedy that is a love letter to the city that I'm in and I love so much.
I love how it has such a great vintage feel to it. That was actually what struck me the first time I saw it. What made you decide to do it in that way? Like what gave you this inspiration specifically?
Yeah, so I work as an actor all over the place, mostly in film and television these days. But years ago, I was actually on a replacement list for Cirque du Soleil, and I don't have much to show for it and to show for my physical comedy abilities because a lot of that work is theater. So I always wanted to do something that was very physical and to be able to show the skill set that I have. But also a lot of times I write things that are very, very wordy. I'm a pretty loquacious human being. I love words. But it was a personal challenge to myself to see how can I tell a very compelling story without words. And just going back to all the physical theater work I've done and the Commedia dell'arte work I've done, it's basically a Aristotelian structure that's a series of comedic lotzi. So lots of shtick throughout that sort of takes her on this journey, and there are no words, but there's a lot of music. I worked with a really wonderful composer, and we composed specifically to the cut we made of the film. So kudos to my composer, Liran Raffaelli, for putting up with me, driving him nuts, and creating this gorgeous score that we have for this film.
You know, physical comedy, I'm such an admirer of anybody that pulls off a physical comedy. It is the most difficult of comedy to pull off. I mean, that's why The Silent Greats was so great. the Buster Keatons or the Harold Lloyds or the Charlie Chaplins was physical comedy, and so few people today have that ability. And I'm so enamored. Did you start early did it just come natural, or did you start studying physical comedy?
So for me, it was sort of an evolution of my craft as an artist. So I was a dance minor in college. I danced my whole life. I did theater from the time I was really young on. In college, I was a dance minor. I did a lot of very physical work. So I was with the National Theater Institute. And then as a company, we went to Russia. And so I studied a lot of like Meyerhold, a lot of like Drosnin work. And then post college, I went all through the improv program at the Upright Citizens Brigade, which is a big comedy pipeline of sorts. Did a lot of stand-up, did a lot of like very comedy theater things, a lot of sketch. But I also studied with a Balinese mask master for a little bit too, privately. And I have a long history of mask and mime and clown work in my work. And it, yeah. And what's
we definitely
interesting,
can see-
I guess.
Oh, hello,
I was just gonna say, like, do you hear her in the background? She's like, you're leaving me in my crib far too long. 5 minutes.
But anyway, so we can definitely see a lot of that in this film. So thank you. I am, one of the reasons I would have loved to have had you here was that we're going to be showing a Harold Lloyd film, Safety First, and his granddaughter is going to be here presenting it. And you would have loved that. So I'm sorry that you're not able to be here. So
that would have been incredible. Yeah, and just as a plus size performer, people don't like to think of people that look like me as people that do physical comedy. And so it's fun to be the face of, that diversity in film.
Well, we think you're beautiful. We love your film, and thank you so much for being with us today. We do need to talk about our sponsors, though. So thank you for joining us,
Thanks
Shara.
for having me.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks so much, Shara. Sorry you're not going to be here.
Bye.
Bye.
Anyway, before we go to break, I just want to thank New Vision Eye Center for sponsoring Yak About Today for the last 8.5 years. As you know, we don't take on sponsors unless we really believe in them, and I wouldn't trust my eyes to anyone else. So go to New Vision Eye Center, and we'll see you after the break.
Dr. Stephen Tate offers the safest and most efficient technique for customized cataract surgery. Patients are personally counseled on the best approach for their needs and lifestyle. From multifocal lenses that allow for distance and reading vision to toric lenses that correct astigmatism, let New Vision Eye Center guide you safely through your options. For world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast, visit newvisioneyecenter.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs, including lots of slipcover styles from Universal, Four Seasons, and Capri. We also have a gallery of Tommy Bahama and Lexington furniture with styles designed for a relaxed approach to the finer things in life. Right now, we're having a summer sale with lots of great markdowns, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet and closeout store directly across the street and visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture brightens up your day. Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Ooh, have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
The Boom is back. Boom on the Lagoon. A day of music, fun, and fireworks. Presented by Mulligan's Beach House and Dale Sorensen Real Estate. The fun starts at 5 o'clock on the 4th of July at Riverside Park in Vero Beach with music by Johnny and the Blaze, food trucks, and contests galore. Brought to you by the City of Vero Beach, Indian River County, A Better Solution Insurance, C.W. Willis Family Farms, and Evergreen Media. Boom on the Lagoon. The 4th of July fireworks celebration at Riverside Park in Vero Beach.
And we are back. I'm David Yuck here with Susan Kellerhorn, and you're listening to Yuck About Today in Film. So, Susan.
Yes, David.
Just one more push?
Yes.
All right, box office opens today at 12, but Susan says don't come till 2.
I'm just being realistic. I mean, I don't want people to get upset, and it's my fault that they don't have my lists. So
we should have thought about lists early.
yes, well, we did. We just didn't do anything about them. So
Right.
there's just so you know, there's very few people running this festival. There's only, and we need more help. So for next year, please, please, please consider helping with the festival so that we can get so much more done. But you're going to love it. It's still going to be amazing. And we're just going to have a great time. So bbfilmfest.org is where you can get your passes. You can learn about all the films. You can see the schedule. And, you know, tell us about some of the special events, David.
You mean the parties?
Yes, the parties.
So, actually, we should get to Chris because we'll run out of...
You're right. We don't want to run out of time on Chris.
And we want to give Chris... So, we've got Chris Sexton Fletcher here, and we're going to talk about his new film, The
Punishment.
Punishment. All right, sorry, Chris. How are you? Welcome.
I'm doing great. I actually kind of sad not to hear about the parties, so I'll try to go quick.
All right, we'll skip the film and talk about
yeah. Well, and I'll
You're
be
invited.
doing my bit to help. I'm going to do my bit to help with the box office, but I won't show up until Thursday. So
Done. That's great.
so that'll help. And there's probably a bit of lag, so if I step on your lines, I apologize. But I'll tell you a little bit about The Punishment. So
Perfect.
I was working on my MFA in film a few years back in Scotland, where I am today, and you can see the nice north light shining on my face. And I was actually surprised to be hearing in the news about punishment shootings that were happening actually in Northern Ireland. So I guess as an American, I had this sense that there were some troubles in Ireland and they were over. And then I was hearing news reports, and I had a screenwriter friend that was pitching stories about parents bringing their children to be punished by paramilitaries. And I just thought there was quite the tension in somebody having to bring their child to be punished by somebody who is outside the law and then bringing them to the hospital because that was the only kind of law that they trusted was these paramilitary groups. So I was in Scotland, and I just thought I can't really do anything in Northern Ireland, but I'm really interested in this idea of somebody that's basically forced to make this terrible choice because of kind of what they believe about the world. And so I wound up making the story of The Punishment, which is about Michael. He's a gang enforcer, and his son winds up being killed, and he is now faced for the first time in his life with the consequences of the kinds of things that he does to other people. And so he's no longer really able to like function as a gang enforcer, and the film kind of follows him as his last ditch gasp to still kind of be the violent person that he is, but now he's really experienced this additional trauma, and now he knows what it's like to be on the other side. So that's the kind of, in a nutshell, without giving too much away, the story of The Punishment.
It's really a beautiful film. I mean, everybody who's going to see it is going to be amazed. So you said that it came to you as an idea when you were a student, but you made it after you were a student, or
Yeah.
when did you actually make the film?
No, yeah, it was actually my MFA film. So I shot that in 2019. And I know what it's like to plan for a year for something that only takes 4 days. And so we shot it in 4 days in 2019 and got it finished up just before the pandemic started. Little did we know. I came back to the States, and it was going to be bringing it on the road and sending it to festivals. And then COVID happened. So it just sort of had a more delayed release, I suppose, but it's been playing in festivals and winning awards and upsetting people and thrilling them. So I'm currently working in post on a dark comedy, so like slightly lighter, but I'm really,
good.
really with the punish. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be sending that to Vero Beach for your for you
Oh,
to
we'll
look
want to
at
show it. We
next
will
year.
want to show it.
But one of the things that I was working on in the punishment was just thinking about using the filmmaking tools at my disposal and the camera just to really focus in on one person's interior life and to see how to get that out through the camera and through the camera movements. And I was really fortunate to have a wonderful cast anchored by Cal McIninch, who is currently he's working in British television, and he was in Vigil and Time recently, but probably most Americans would know him. He was in Downton Abbey and also in Mr. Selfridge. So he's playing a much different character than the footman and the guy that works in the department store in those shows.
I'm just curious. I think I ask this question often. So we know where you got the idea for the film, but when you draw up a character, right? Where do you draw from for that particular character?
Yeah, so for the character of Michael, I was going to newspaper accounts of what was going on specifically in Glasgow. Just kind of at the same time that I was working on the project, and I was just reading these news reports and going, these people are so bad that I can't quite tell the story that I want to tell, because you'll just be like, you won't be on this guy's side at all. And that's kind of the sneaky thing that I'm doing, is you're kind of putting you in his shoes, even though he's pretty bad. But I was drawing from newspaper accounts, and then also I guess a lot of it in there is, there's part of it's just kind of like my worldview and kind of the way I view things. It's about somebody who has a pattern and a way of living in the world, and I think everybody kind of reaches a point where the way that they're living, they have to make adjustments to it. I think we all kind of know that feeling of like, the way I'm living is the way I'm living, but it's not necessarily the best way for the people around me or for myself. So it's kind of an extreme version of that, as somebody who's in a pattern, who's got to break out of it, or is faced with a choice: continue living the way he's been living, or find a new way of being a person, basically.
It's a great character. That's a great character.
It really is. I find it amazing that you really did make him relatable, even though he is somebody who most people would consider evil. But you made him relatable, and you made him look like, hey, there was hope. So I loved that about the film.
Well, I feel that it's interesting to hear that you say that there's hope, because some people watch the film and they're like, and then the very next thing is something terrible. So I think in some ways the film kind of acts as a Rorschach test, that some people see it in a really negative light when it's over. Most people kind of get that hopefulness, but I'll be interested to see what the audience at Vero Beach makes of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Chris. And now we actually do need to talk about the parties. So please continue to listen in, so that way you know about the parties too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. I can't wait to meet you in person. All right. Anyway, parties.
Parties.
Right. Parties. I remember when we used to have wine in the name. It was the Vero Beach Wine and Film Festival, and people loved the parties. We took out the wine, not because we don't like wine, but because we wanted everybody to know that our concentration was on the films. So we already did the kickoff dinner on
now we have Thursday. Thursday we have the opening night party. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be following the Vero Visions films, which is all our local filmmakers. You're going to know most of the people who are in that screening, and they're going to be there to talk about their films. And I think we might continue talking about them a little bit more at the Heritage Center, because that party will start at 8:00 at the Heritage Center. And we'll have music and we'll have wine. We're going to have beer. There'll be nibbles. It'll be a lot of fun. And then Friday night, David, tell us about Friday.
I'm beating the clock here. It's the grand wine tasting. It's what we have been famous for 4 of the 5 years, and hopefully this year too, where we have all these representatives coming in with all these great wines, and everybody gets to run around and taste all these great wines.
And then quickly, the Saturday night party is the 80s Down and Dirty dance party with Worst to First. And please get your greatest 80s garb. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Bye-bye now. See you
Bye.
next time.